we did the ivermectin protocol. Without a doubt, it works. And if you can't get it in pill form, I would just say that we had used, because I purchased at our local farm supply store for the horses, the fluid kind, not the paste, but we got the kind that's for the pigs and the cows, the solution ivermectin, which is safe to use. And there is a regimen on how much you take per body weight.
That is just an example of some of the expert advice that's been handed out on this QAnon Telegram channel about how to avoid COVID, how to fight COVID once you've been infected with it. This is a channel that a grandfather of a 6-month-old child, baby, took to try and get some advice because he believed that his grandchild did have COVID. She was experiencing some symptoms and he was a bit worried. And one thing he definitely was not gonna do was take her to some professional care, so he took to Telegram. So they gave him lots of advice. So quick spoiler alert, in case you guys don't want to know the hearing, maybe plug your ears. She nearly died. So let's go into some of the details about this. This is what he asked. Do you guys think it's safe to give ivermectin to an infant? First question that he asked that he probably should have had the answer to himself. He wrote that in the chat. Someone responded, baby aspirin to thin the blood a little and drop any fever, and I would put some ivermectin on the bottoms of her feet. Others encouraged Jason to seek out those within the community who were, quote, experts in ivermectin usage. I'm not sure who they completely, maybe they specifically told him, doctor. And then another user called Katie clearly believed that she was also an expert. And she said, from what I understand, yes, it is safe to give it to an infant. However, please stop calling it COVID. It's not COVID, it's a simple cold. And that's how we got into this mess to begin with, is what Katie concluded with. So all this advice that they gave him, slapped some ivermectin on the bottoms of her feet, popped a couple of aspirin in her mouth. 6-month-old, let's not forget that, 6-month-old. And for some reason, things went worse. Continuing on, we gave her 2 doses of ivermectin at 50 milligrams each. That's what was recommended by someone on here. She got really sick after that. Related? I don't know. That's what Jason said when he had an update about how bad things are going. Baby threw up. Is that common side effect? She's also turning a tad blue. Now, there was another user that said, hey, I know about these things. If she's turning blue, she's dying. Take her to the hospital. He ignored that. And when someone did tell him that they'd gone to the emergency room when their child had turned blue, Jason responded, we don't trust hospitals. I told my son to give her more ivermectin. Just pile it on, slather it on her face, maybe her armpits. I don't know, anywhere. It's ivermectin. God gave it to us. And secondly, hospital is not an option. Any other ideas? They gave her another 50 milligrams of ivermectin is what happened. So the baby was taken to the hospital against his wishes. He was all upset about it. Eventually the baby's life was saved. And he did point that out too. He said, let's jump down to graphic 9 really fast, you guys. God knew what to do, even though I thought the hospital was certain death. Thanks for everyone's advice. And luckily his granddaughter survived his attempt to kill her. And if I was Jason's son, who I don't know if he went along with this, to what degree he did, no more babysitting for grandpa, just no more. Ravana.
It's horrifying because to some extent I have sympathy for these people who are so brainwashed because they're clearly scared, right? These people are scared of COVID. They're scared of dying. They're worried. He's worried about his grandchild in the most messed up way I could ever imagine. He thinks he's doing the right thing somehow in his delusions, but it's just makes me so angry at the people who are profiting off of pushing this information, right? The people who stand to make money by telling people that ivermectin is a cure to COVID, and that you shouldn't get vaccinated, but you should instead take all these other things that have never been proven to treat COVID, because they're just profiting off of these people's fears and playing into their ignorance, and it's disgusting. I will say though, I think that it's offensive to pigs that they used pig ivermectin, because pigs are extremely smart and definitely way smarter than these people.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe they're trying to break up the whole, people calling it horse paste and it's pig paste. Now, it's the liquid form is for pigs. So this is supposed to be better. And again, 6 months old, anyone who's had a child knows that even when you're giving them any other kind of medication that would seemingly be okay for a baby, You check labels, you look for it. You're like, let me see what this has done for the other folks. 6 months old. Now, he believed it was COVID, and that was his one mistake within the group. Can't call COVID. And who knows if it was or not. But what if it was just a cold? What if it was some sniffles and he's slapping ivermectin on the bottoms of her feet and she's turning blue? What if they were right that it wasn't COVID? And now the freak out comes to anything that happens to make sure that, number one, let's galvanize our identity here as anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers and whatever else we're anti, is to say, hey, let's turn down the fact that you're calling that COVID. It's nothing but the common cold. Let's slap some ivermectin on it. I thought ivermectin was for COVID. If COVID doesn't exist, why are you using ivermectin? It doesn't have to make sense, does it? It just has to confirm your identity as this person who's against the regime, against Dr. Fauci. Just think things through before you kill each other. Now, one more. Now, the fact that this channel led him down this road is absolutely unsurprising, because this is the same channel again. It's run by Mike Penny. He's a conspiracy theorist and a close ally of Michael Protzman, who's the leader of the cult-like group who had been holed up in Dallas for the last 3 months, waiting for JFK to come back. As you'll see in this video, they're still waiting. They're still waiting.
It is almost 12:29. Any minute now, the big reveal. The crowd is big, ready to go.
Any minute now, or hour, day, weeks, months, any year now, he's gonna show back up. Is what's gonna happen. This, if you see this happen, and you're watching how they fall apart when they try to have this kind of a group, which, by the way, that's a pretty big crowd for something like this, and it doesn't work out, why would you then go to that same channel and go, anybody got any good advice?
You gotta trust the plan, Jayar. He's still on his way, okay? It's just been really bad traffic for the past few months. It's just like how Trump is going to assume the throne and kick Biden out of the White House and become the president on January 6th. Wait, no, January 20th. Wait, no, 2022. Wait, no, 2027. Somewhere, you just gotta trust the plan. You gotta believe in it.
This is sad. There's this many people out there. And what, are we not supposed to make fun of folks to do this? Now, I've been the one who said it. Making fun of folks doesn't get them to change their minds. But also looking at each other, not see the results of what they're looking for, also doesn't change their minds. It's almost important where you just have to point out, hey, anyone else, cautionary tale. If you find yourself anywhere near this type of thought process, think again for one more moment. Again, this is for the group of people who said, think for yourself. Think for yourself is the preaching. So please